is why my last name might look a little weird to all of you. And so I couldn't even get much of Gary's presentation. I just got stuck on penises in Rome, and which is actually what I was going to do my presentation on. But I decided I'd stick with eyes, and I've got, yeah, we'll just, and whenever you're ready, we're going to do this. Okay, so this is a still from WiE20, which is a 1926 avant-garde film by Newfoundland and Salvador Dali, whose name you might recognize. What's going to happen is your eyes actually going to be split in half, and this is going to actually be like a metaphor for what happens in film. Is kind of the split vision that happens on. So between this image and the next one, which should hopefully come any second now, that's Rear Window. 1954, that's James Stewart with the big battle camera going on. And between WiE20 and Rear Window, this is sort of like a big governing metaphor for what happens in film. If you don't know this, Rear Window is often theorized as being like a big metaphor for film and what happens with James Stewart. He's watching out his back window, his legs broken, he can't do anything, but just has a whatever. This is from Psycho, from 1960, another Alfred Hitchcock film, and this is a really famous shot where Kennedy was just killed by Norman Bates. We don't know that. And this is what's happening is her eyes going one way, the water's going another way. It's a still image, and it's like death and all the still imagery while the eye is still, and it's all just like, it's totally different from this one, which is from La Jetée, which is 1963 Chris Marker film. It's a short film, and it's just still images for the whole 30 minutes, except for here, which you can't tell because it's a still image, but it's actually a moving image, and her eyes are blinking. So it's kind of funny, but this is actually the only moving image in the whole film, so it's kind of a counterpoint to Psycho, where that's just a big still image. And here is HAL 9000 from 2001: A Space Odyssey, 1968 Stanley Kubrick film. And this is like that all-perceiving eye that kind of the camera is that's often theorized, especially in the psychoanalytic tradition in film. And HAL just sees everything on the spaceship. If you haven't seen this, it's like a really great like space opera that's really like just that. There's a lot going on. Another film from 1971, A Clockwork Orange, and this is Alice Lard, played by Malcolm McDowell, and he's watching a film here, a really gory, violent, sexual film, and they're feeding him this drug, and they're forcing him to watch this stuff. When he watches these violent films, he has this like visceral reaction where he throws up and he can't enact violence himself. And so here is Videodrome from 1983. It's a Canadian film, David Cronenberg. And this whole film is premised on vision. James Wood here, he's being inundated with this like cancer thing called Videodrome that makes him see hallucinations, and he's hallucinating that this TV's alive and living, and those are the lips of Deborah Harry from WiE20 in this film. It's a great film, you should watch it, it's on Netflix. This is from The Dead Zone, another David Cronenberg film, also from 1983. This image actually has nothing to do with what I'm going to talk about in The Dead Zone, but it's really kind of like suggestive and graphic. The Dead Zone's about his character played by Christopher Walken, who can like see people's futures just by touching them. And so, anyway, this is actually not even an eye at all. This is GoldenEye satellite from the James Bond film GoldenEye, and I was running out of ideas. The video game was cool, right? You guys all like the video game from like whatever? I don't know. That's all I have to go with that one. Also, metaphor for communism and something. I got nothing. There we go. Scream from 1996, the Wes Craven film, which isn't really eyes going on, her eyes are closed, but this opening scene with Drew Barrymore, she's being watched, and he asks her, "Do you like scary movies?" Right? And so it's kind of like that whole thing where instead of us watching movies, like, the movies are kind of watching her because this screen, this ghost face, he is that kind of that all-encompassing, that whatever. This is from Lost Highway, the David Lynch film from 1997. I actually fell asleep watching this, so I had to see it all. And actually, this is near the end of the film, where this creepy motherfucker comes in, excuse my French, and he's filming Bill Pullman and his wife, and it's really weird at the beginning of the film. Bill Pullman and his wife, Patricia Arquette, are getting these tapes of them sleeping, and we don't know how. And this is from The Sixth Sense, obviously. He sees dead people, like how much more obvious can I get when she's talking about vision and film? You, of course, from 1999, the M. Night Shyamalan film, the only good film he's ever done. And I mean, when I saw it when I was 9, I didn't even like it, but I was 9. And what else we got? X-Men from 2000, the Bryan Singer film. Of course, a big metaphor for just like gay everything. And so he's a Cyclops here, right? The mutant eyes, and vision here can actually kill you if you're not careful and you don't control it. And of course, he has a big love affair with Jean Grey. And you've all seen X-Men, right? Who hasn't seen X-Men? It's great. The ring. The ring. The ring itself is an eye, really, if you think about it. Because as soon as you see the ring, it sees you, it knows you saw it, and then he calls you on the phone in 7 days and you die. Right? And so the movies can kill you. It's kind of the whole metaphor of the ring, and kind of the whole, one of that governing logic behind like WiE20 and right, where it slices the eye. This is from Pan's Labyrinth from 2005, 2006. The Guillermo del Toro film from Mexico. I don't really have anything to say about this image except it's really cool and I really like this scene in the movie. If you haven't seen it, you should just watch it for this scene because this guy's eyes are actually on a plate and then when the girl steals food, he puts the eyes in his hands and like, it's creepy as hell. This is actually shot from The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, the Julien Schnabel film from France from 2007, and this is, how do I explain this concisely? This is what the main character sees, and the whole film is shot in that first-person perspective film thing, except for a few flashbacks. And so everything in this image is what, the whole film is just his vision, so our vision becomes the character's vision. This is a cool shot from There Will Be Blood, and what's going on here is that David Wardwell on his blog, he's a film critic, posted this image, and all these little circles here are where you're looking right now. And the bigger the circle, the longer you're looking there. And that was the idea. So the guy who did this, he put little rapid eye movement measure things in front of your eyes, and we measure where you were looking in this scene. This is from Paranormal Activity from 2007. It's a really great film. I realize it gets a bad rap, but it's really cool when you think about it because here's that camera eye from, you know, or a window, and here's you. That's you. That's really you. That's really all that Paranormal Activity is about. It's about us watching a movie and creating all these self-mythologizing, autobiographical stuff. This is blindness. This is actually a movie about not seeing anything. This is from 2008, the Fernando Morales film from Canada, Brazil, and Japan. It's kind of a co-production. And that's Julianne Moore, and she's the only one who can see in this world gripped by a white blindness. And it's a really kind of a terrible film, but the novel's really good. And I'm really going to say. The last image here is from Sinister from 2012, which is a surprisingly great film. I saw it on Halloween, thinking it was going to be total dog shit, but it's great. And the idea here is that it's kind of like The Ring. You watch this movie, and this demon whose name I can't remember, he knows you've seen it, and then he basically gets your kids to kill you. And these are all the kids. Anyway, those are all the kids who killed them, and they end up being in the screen. Oh my god.